Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode. Sorry, I'll tell you about it later. Something funny happened yesterday with my lungs, but no, I went ahead and I was reading your guys' comments, and someone suggested to put fins on the top of the capsule to help it on its way back down. And it makes absolute sense because the drag is behind the weight. Technically, the weight is where it's supposed to be, and the drag is behind it, so it's going to keep it straight. So I said, this is a great idea. Let me go ahead and test it out. Unfortunately, however, it didn't quite work out. As you can see, the fins dug into the atmosphere. This is what I'm thinking anyway. The fins dug into the atmosphere on its way up, and because it's not particularly straight, it's kind of wobbly. So if the fins dig into the atmosphere, it's gonna grab that nose of the spacecraft and throw it all over the place, which is gonna, of course, make it go completely out of control. So it's a good idea, and I'm sure there's a way to do it properly. Maybe turn the entire capsule upside down, something of that nature. See how it works, though? It works. Don't get me wrong. It acts like a dart. It works very well. It immediately grabbed the capsule and flipped it around, but yeah, we're gonna have to come up with something else. But not all was lost. I was able to get some shore data from that area, so that was pretty good. I got some EVA and some surface samples. Nice. Alright, so even though that didn't work, we got some science out of it anyways, so it's a successful failed test. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make a different kind of lander so we can get more science out of Kerbin at the biomes. Alright, so far I'm coming out with a spacecraft that is actually quite interesting in its design, but the weight of the craft, the actual mass of the craft, is towards the bottom, so that will allow us to have more stability going down into Kerbin, because what I'm trying to get is all the science from all the biomes. This is the only way to try to zap as much science out of Kerbin as possible before we start going to the moon, because I need technology. You have to remember, science is set to 10%. I need the technology. I need as much science as I possibly can before I head out into the stars. But I'm actually kind of liking this. I don't know what it is about it. It kind of looks like a racer or something, you know, with a big giant engine in front and the cockpit in the middle, with the wings on the sides. Yeah, a little bit, but definitely a experimental spacecraft. And I might replace this actually with something that's a little bit more aerodynamic, but we're gonna go ahead and see how that is first before we attempt anything. 2, 1. Looking good. Start the gravity turn. Gravity turn is looking solid. Looking solid. It's kind of a weak turn, but I think I started turning too late. The first stage is almost depleted. Switching over second stage. I'm gonna bring the throttle down just a little bit. Still holding down the W key. Still holding down the W key. Getting ready for stage 3. Bringing down the darn it, did it anyway. Really nice. Now if you hear me wheezing, it's because I'm oh my gosh, I can't even, every time I breathe in it does this wheezing sound. Last night I was watching something very funny, and I was drinking soda at the time, and when I laughed, I inhaled, and when I inhaled, there was no air in my there was no air coming in, but there was plenty of soda coming in, and the soda filled my lungs, and I coughed up everything, and I was wheezing, I was coughing. Oh, that hurt so bad. That hurt really bad. So I was gonna make a video last night, but I was not in any condition whatsoever to even concentrate on making a video. So right now I woke up in the morning and my chest still hurts. Oh, Lord have mercy. What's even worse is that it was Coca-Cola, so technically I snorted Coke. And full power. And it's the V key. There we go. Back to free. Don't get me wrong, I like orbital view just as much as the other guy, but free view, actually, I don't know why I like free view so much. I guess it's because every NASA feed you see, or every NASA video you see, the space station is actually in line with the horizon of the planet. The planet is always turning underneath the space station, so it feels more real. You see, right now we're trying to get all the experimental data that we can from areas that's not close to KSP, or excuse me, KSC. The areas, see, this is where KSC resides. You have grasslands, you've got highlands, you got mountains, you got shores, you have deserts. So all of that is already pretty much near the Kerbal Space Center. So I'm not aiming for those. What I'm aiming for are the hard to get places, such as the polar ice caps, and I believe the Tundra is around here someplace. I think it's the light green stuff. There's these very, very dark green areas. These are badlands, and that's what I want too. I want badlands. So we've already gotten all the information, that all the science data from polar caps. Now we need Tundra information, and next we're going to try to nail one of these areas right here for the badland science. Once we get these elusive three, then we can just practice on small little rockets to take us to areas that are around the Kerbal Space Center. All right, EVA. Whoa, my gosh. Okay, we have issues. Well, that's interesting. It ejects the Kerbal. It ejects the Kerbal from the actual spacecraft. Brilliant. Too much. Ooh, whoa. Oh, my EVA driving is out of practice. Grab. No. Oh my gosh. We have a serious problem. Oh, my goodness. Thank gosh. All right, so this design ejects your Kerbal. And then it's a real mother to get back in there. Okay, well, let's write that down. The Tundra is somewhere around here. So these are ours, right? So it actually hasn't been up there that long. It's been up there for a couple hours. I think I'm reading this right. Okay, so if that's the case, then we'll go ahead. We'll put it so a capsule has enough life support for 2 days by itself. So if I was to take 2 capsules and put them next to each other, that's 4 days for one Kerbal. Tell me what you think about this in the comments below. I know everyone wants me to use TAC life support and everything else, and it's an option that I'm heavily leaning towards. But like I said, I want to go ahead and try to keep this as stock as possible. I have nothing against mods. Absolutely nothing. I mean, look, I'm using mods now. I'm using mods for the beautiful atmosphere effects of clouds, to be able to take her helmet off, the different types of, little star background. See the star background? That's a mod. It's a beautiful, gorgeous mod. And I love mods. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep it as stock as possible, because one, the challenge of it, having nothing but stock parts and having to figure out how to do something without some sort of super duper part mod is fun. It's fun to try to figure out how to do it without the flux capacitor or the warp drive. And trust me, the warp drive sounds great and everything. Don't get me wrong. I would love to one day play around with that. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep it as stock as possible, because of the fact that if I build a craft and I put it down for download, anybody can download it. You don't need to figure out what mods you have or anything of that nature. You can just go ahead and download it. So the challenge of building something, as well as the ability to give it out there for people to download and not have to worry about what kind of mods I'm using for the parts, is a plus for me. I think what it is also the idea of making rules, because each capsule has a timer on it. And the timer is up here. So when you're looking at the capsule and you're looking up here, that's how long it's been out in space. So when it comes time to do like fleets and space stations of this nature, I'm not going to look at the space station, how long it's been up there, because the space station is going to be up there forever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a module that attaches to the space station, and it has its own little command pod or command control center of some kind attached to it, and the pod is gonna be something of the nature of 5 years for 4 Kerbals of whatever resources. And if I want to know how long that pod's been there, I'll just undock it for half a second, look at how long it's been there, and if it's up there for 5 years, well, it's time to get a new one, or the Kerbals are going to start to starve to death. In which case, I'll do something creative. I don't know. I'll jettison them all out the airlock. No. I'm not that cruel. But yeah, it's something of that nature, and we're going to use the mining technique for fuel and transfer and do the math for fuel, and for each like ton or pound a craft weighs is how much fuel you have to burn in order to simulate mining for actual ore, and then we'll just hyper edit the craft at the factory site, whatever the case may be. But definitely, if you guys have any ideas on how to do this modless for like life support and rules and laws and game made up game laws and stuff, such as a capsule like this one only has 2 days life support, so if you put 2 of them together it makes 4 days. A bigger capsule has more life support on it, or things of this nature. Plus, like I said before, we're going to try to go for we're going to look up actual weight and for NASA specs on their life support module or cargo modules for food and stuff. One cargo module for NASA, it weighs something like 5 tons or something of that nature, and it can last for 300 days food and water. And so we'll do something of that nature. We'll go ahead and make something that's 500 tons, or not 500 tons, like 5 tons, and we'll say, okay, well, this is 5 tons, and we're going to go ahead and that, according to NASA, 5 tons of food and water lasts 300 days. It'll be fun. It'll make it more complex, sure, but it's going to be fun. But for actual physics, for actual parts, I want to try to keep this as stock as possible. So anyway, I would like to see your comments below about that. So we're going to try to land this thing in the Tundra. We're probably not going to be successful. I am going to hit this atmosphere at Mach 5 million and try to nail it, because I'm sick and tired of skimming across the atmosphere. I'm sick and tired of skimming across the atmosphere and hoping to hit an area, because with each craft it's different. If the craft is heavier, it'll skim across the atmosphere longer. So if you make the apoapsis, or if you make the periapsis 20,000 meters on one side, for a heavier craft it's just going to end up further down the line. For a lighter craft it's going to stop faster, so you need to adjust the periapsis. And the whole adjusting periapsis thing can be a real pain in the butt, especially right now. My lungs hurt. It's I got a lot to do today, so I'm going to try to get this done as quick as possible. And the only way I can do that is to literally make this craft almost dead stop right on top of where I want it to land. So let's go ahead and attempt this. Way overshot. Ah, damn it. Looks like the design is doing real good though. Without any SAS, we're right on the mark. Now I know there's a mod out there that allows you to pinpoint exactly where you're gonna land, but I don't think it's been updated recently, because I tried it one time and it didn't land anywhere near where the mark was said it's supposed to land. So I'll probably, that is something, okay guys, yeah. That is something that I will download. That is a mod that I will download to figure out where your craft is going to land. It calculates the resistance, it calculates everything, and it finds out pretty much where your craft is going to land. I would love to have a mod that works. It used to work, but now with all the updated physics and everything, it doesn't work so much anymore. I'm going to see if opening up these doors helps with anything. I think it's the 8. Yeah, put it on 8. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ah. Okay. And then I open them. Oh, look at that. It increases significantly. Oh, you know what? I better hit the spacebar. There we go. I really like this craft. It kind of reminds me of some sort of Russian craft with the bubble on, well, the bubble capsule on top and the engine and stuff in the back. And splashdown. Crowd goes wild. No, I'm swimming. I don't think I've gotten material-based science on the water. Hell to the yeah. At least this wasn't a complete failure. Oh, cool. I thought I already... That's interesting. I thought I already had gotten crew report data on the water. Holy crap. Interesting. EVA. And it pushes her right off. That's great. Gimme. Okay, we're going to put that right there. Right there. And then we're going to put this right here. And detach. Ignite. There we go. There she goes. Oh, okay. Detach. Full power. That was actually kind of nice. We got a lot of fuel left over. Now I hear that in KSP 1.1 they're going to do something like that. There's going to be more satellites. There's going to be a ton of new satellite dishes. They're going to have it so I can't communicate with my spacecraft unless there's a satellite in orbit being able to communicate with it or something of that nature, unless it's manned. They're going to do that kind of stuff where you have to have like a triangle of communication satellites if you want to talk to a probe that's around Joule or something of that nature, which is going to be really sweet. And of course, all the new science stuff that they're going to do is one of them is rumored to be a satellite that scans the planet for biomes. So I'm really crossing my fingers for that. I really am. But until then, we're going to go ahead and use the Alt F12 and hit the biomes so we can see where they are. Ah, we overshot it. Oh, we're going for another water landing. Son of a biscuit. Alright, so I got an idea. I have an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. Alright, total delta V. I have 546 ms delta V left. Okay. So I'm going to make a maneuver node. I can't see a thing. And I don't even know if it's going to work. Okay, so 546 delta V in order to slow down to approximately here. It's a good idea, right? Please tell me it's a good idea. 7 seconds and 5. Come on. I just hope it's where I just hope it's the freaking biomes, because this is ultimately the last time I can do this. I am almost completely out of time. Hey, that's pretty cool that we landed right where it's supposed to be. You know, I'm gonna risk something. I'm gonna go ahead and deploy makeshift air brakes now. Please don't overheat. Please don't overheat. Please don't overheat. Oh man, she's going in there pretty hard. Yeah, I'm gonna say we overshot. We overshot. Darn it, it was over here. Lesson learned. Just calculate it a little farther back. Well, nuts. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can do for today. And hopefully we can pop out with some more videos later on. I want to go ahead and thank you for your support on Patreon. Whatever little blessings I can get goes a long way, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it to the bottom of my heart. It helps with a lot of things. Thank you so much. And well, I am Vaos Human, signing off, and have a good night.